secondly, badges. Those who don't wear badges will be assumed spooks and you will be escorted out of the building. I am joking, of course, but please wear your badges. I just put mine on now, so I wasn't practicing not what I was preaching. Right, so networking. This is a time for action. As we know, this is the title of the conference, so big focus on networking this year. So when we say networking, you know how before I arranged the room as the UK? Well, Alex has taken that to the next level, and so you've got regions of the UK all over, if you can see on the tables, so you can kind of congregate yourselves there, but there will be a networking party later on. What else? Right, morning and afternoon tea breaks and lunch. Lunch isn't included in your accommodation. It will be served outside in the Iron Bridge suite next to our traders area. So please also support our wonderful traders who've been doing this for years and years and years and need your support. What else? Yes, so any questions, any complaints, please come to me. I have been given the authority by Brian to be very strict and headmistressy throughout this event, so speakers will be, so speakers will be cut off. I have these very aggressive looking signs, speakers, 5 minutes, 1 minute, and stop now. So don't take it personally, it's just, yes, this is how we want to run it, and we are running late anyway. So I would love to introduce Ruby Paul. Now, Ruby Paul is an international harpist, and so harp to me conjures up the angelic realms for me. It's very beautiful, engaging music, and as we know, music engages all sides of the brain, so from the logical through to our intuition, and so we want to be fully engaged and connected throughout this conference, but we also want to have fun, so we are going to have a party feel later on, but at the moment I'd like to introduce some peaceful, lovely, calm music for you. So welcome everybody and enjoy yourselves.
Now I'm probably going to do the opposite, but as the speakers come on stage, they are going to be talking not only about what's happening but what they're doing. Didn't the music do something? Yes. This is, excuse me, this is what our life should be about. It should be about beautiful things. It should be about creating wonderful things. It should be all getting on together. That's what it should be like, and it isn't like that because something is eating away at our society. I'm going to try and regain 5 minutes for people, so I'm really going to go quite fast. But let's have a think about the realities of Britain. This is the image, isn't it? A happy couple, churchgoers, you can trust us, squeaky clean, well presented, just wonderful. Well, I had an email exchange with a young lady, it was actually, over the last 24 hours. And in my reply, which is on screen, you don't need to read it all, but I finished on by saying basically we're living in a corrupt, lawless dictatorship. That's what I felt was the thing to say at the end of that little exchange. But I was wrong. And so what sort of country do we live in? Is it difficult to prove? Well, it isn't. Because here it is. In front of us, we have approved Satanism for use on board warships. So under Tony Blair, he was the man that brought this in. Satanism is okay as a religion to be practiced on board warships. And of course, David Cameron has continued this. So they condone Satanism. So therefore they must believe it exists, otherwise you can't condone it. So I can prove to you in one slide, we now live under a government which approves satanic law. It's so easy. And what happens under satanic law? Very nasty things start to happen. So a report here from the Belfast Telegraph about a young man who went to a party, a Satanist drug party, and was carved up and tortured. Why should we be surprised? Because if we follow it through, we were told the government has approved Satanism. And then we can say, well, what kind of people are running us? Are they upstanding, moral, truthful? Well, let's have a look at a couple. Don't have to make it up. These are the men, and of course women, who are representing us. We have chosen these people. We have given the consent, and this is the type of person that now stands up for us, the British, in its widest sense. And we wonder why we're in such a state. So we know that these people are working in a hierarchy. Now this is very interesting because I checked all these slides before I left my room this morning, and all of a sudden we've got some corruptions coming in, so something's at work. And well, let's remind ourselves of this man, Saul Alinsky. So the Tories and Labour and Lib Dem openly boasted they're using his policy. And of course, he was a Marxist. And if you're a Marxist, you're not going to be supporting God. It's in our faces. Let's have a look at this man. I've used this slide time and time again. Tony Blair saying back in 2000 that we were going to get rid of elected people. We were going to have people selected and put in positions of power. The concept of the new class. It's in our faces. They're telling us what was going to happen. And some people have tried to do something about it. So this young man said he was actually going to take on Tony Blair. What does common sense tell us we need to do about Tony Blair? Well, in my view, he needs to be brought to trial. But it isn't just Tony Blair, because if we swap back to David Cameron, this was his joke. It was publicised. He said he'll leave the jacuzzi before the whores turn up. But there he is, and what has he got? He's got a poppy on his lapel, so he's upstanding, he's clean, all the rest of it. Well, is he? Who's his backers? All publicised again. I'll gently say there's something has occurred with the slides, so I'm going to say to the team we might need to spend a bit of time, whether this is the resolution, I apologise for this. Here we are, this is one of the men, the type man supporting Cameron, gave a lot of money to Cameron's personal leadership campaign, lots of money to the Tory party, and his wife was busy producing statues of Christ with an erection. The man is our Prime Minister, and yet we know what kind of creature this is. And so something else that we've got here, Harriet Harman, who was actively campaigning for the rules on pornographic pictures of children to be relaxed. I don't have to make it up. Well, the Queen, I served the Queen for 21 years, and of course utter rot and corruption in the royal family, breaking into the papers with reports of a paedophile ring operating. We've got the paedophiles operating throughout the children's homes. And here is Theresa May on the Andrew Marr show, and she's basically saying, well, how was it that we covered things up? Well, she should know because she's part of the establishment that's been doing it. Melanie Shaw, very brave woman, back in prison. Theresa May knows what she's doing. She's part of the satanic government. We've got children murdered. The police are still not investigating them. This was a little boy seemingly connected with Elm House. But we're talking about the murder of children. And let's not forget Leon Britton's European political boy, Nick Clegg, who stood up and said, oh, it's all terrible, we need to investigate, until Bill Maloney challenged him publicly and he ran away. So where have we got to? Mike, I'm just going to say this is something to do with the screen resolution on these slides, so I'll run with it because I've only got a short slot, but I'm really sorry that we're losing all of the text. So here was a mother that tried to expose paedophile activity around the school, and what happened was that she was put in a psychiatric unit. And let's see whether we can hear that. It should come off the laptop.
Professional psychotic medication, so nothing's going to try and get me to take it. It's my will. It's ready. Where I do have any feelings to help this is absurd.
That was the lady calling me to say she was going to be forcibly medicated. That lady's in the room. You can speak to her over this weekend and hear her experiences. Social workers bursting into people's homes, taking babies away. And I say, what sort of women would do this? Melanie Shaw, back in prison. Back in prison as an abuse victim and whistleblower. And the difference between her as she really is and after she's been in a profit-making prison, extraordinary. No treatment for leg ulcers. This is David Cameron's Britain. Robert Greene fought and fought to protect children, and in the background we've got these people like Sarah Tether, and basically what was she doing? She was Children's Services Commissioning and Market Development. It's in our faces what these people are doing, and this headline summed it up because we had a report here of huge profits to be made out of disturbed and needy children. Just quite incredible. We don't have to dig very far before it's in our faces. Now, if you think the lady in Cornwall was just one, well, all of these people, all around the country, all of these ladies were put in psychiatric units as a result of trying to expose what was happening with children. These are just ones the UK column knows about. What are the police doing? Well, they're doing something different, because here's the police warning us that there is a dictatorship coming, a police state. Well, they should know, they're helping to create it. So, everywhere we go, we're seeing vicious treatment of people by the state. This is the state getting worried about students. I've got a GCHQ thing on the podium here. So we've got GCHQ spending hundreds of millions of pounds to spy on students because they're frightened of them. This is madness. Well, of course it would be, because we're now under satanic law. We've got people being dragged out of their homes on the excuse of ASBOs. And this was sent to me some time ago, which I thought was really excellent. If you watch what the police are doing with children, we've seen this before. So we've got junior police community officers, children being taught to spy on their parents. This is how the Nazis did it. And what do these people say? They say, we are so brilliant, we are going to create a one-world government. That's not a guess. This is the parliamentary paper from the all-party parliamentary group for world governance, and they're saying they are planning a world government. What sort of world government? Well, it can only be one thing, because they approve Satanism. We could talk about Luciferianism versus Satanism. I can't do that now, but the basis is these people are not Christian, they're not Jewish, they're not Buddhists, they're not Muslims, they are Satanists, and they have declared their allegiance to that system. Can we do something about it? Well, yes we can, but it requires people to act together. And the weapon that we have is spirituality. If we can get reconnected to the right things, God, and understanding that that is where the real power comes from, then we can deal with what's taking place. And I'm going to say the only time I have heard a talk on this subject of evil in society was actually done by a Muslim gentleman who came down to Plymouth and did a talk in the Guildhall. And he talked about subjects I've never heard in the churches. He talked about evil and how it worked. You could have heard a pin drop. Mr. Nazim was his name. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. So this is not about religions fighting each other. This is about spirituality. We can do something. We've got to work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. What an opening. Right, next up we have Ian Puddick. So, when people think of superhero plumbers, they think of Super Mario. But we have a real-life superhero plumber here. He runs a very successful plumbing company. He was an expert on BBC Rogue Traders. He is an expert on